Hey, what's up everybody? Aaron again with another video. This video I just want to talk about a few topics. And this is kind of going to be a video piggybacking off one of the ones I just did a little earlier. It's about the advances in technology. And why am I talking about that? Well, because I've been observing a lot lately. And something I've observed is this. When I was a kid, granted, that was a few years ago, but when I was a kid, you couldn't drag me into the house. I was outside all the time. If I wasn't outside, we'd be playing Nintendo or Atari. That's just the way things were. There was no real internet. I mean, it did exist, but, nobody had it. This is in the 80s, in case you're wondering. I'm not that old, but old enough. So, my dream was one day to have a family and get to do stuff that my dad and my mom, that they did with me. And it's just, every day more and more, it's just dawning on me. Not just, but it has been for quite some time. It's been dawning on me how different this next generation is. What do I mean by different? A good majority of them are addicted to social networking. They're addicted to their iPhone or their Android. And it's not just, my kids. It's just about every kid I see anymore. On their phone. Slouched down, looking at their phone. Texting. On YouTube, on God knows what, Facebook, Snapchat, Kick, Instagram, you name it, they're on it. Now, I'm fortunate because I don't have it like a lot of people do. But these, teenagers these days, the stuff that they're sending across and putting up on their social networking sites is scary. And I blame technology. I blame technology and I blame society and the media for encouraging this stuff. It's almost like a totally different culture. In fact, it is. The culture now in this country with the younger generations is night and day compared to even my generation. Granted, my generation, we were one of the first with video games. And, so that definitely, between my generation and my parents, it was night and day. I think that's just the way life is, but, there were some similarities, between myself and my father. He went outside. I went outside. Things like that. Most kids these days prefer to stay inside so that they can be near, be near a computer. They always have their phone handy and able to charge it, and have access to, Xbox, Wii U, PlayStation 4. It's like that stuff's more important, and there's more of a desire to do those activities than there is for them to go out and get exercise and have real life experiences as opposed to everything being virtual. And that's a major difference. There's just not that desire for face-to-face interaction between people anymore. And this even goes up into my generation and beyond. Meetings. Most meetings, if you work for in an office, in corporate or anything like that, most meetings are a conference call. You don't even, like, a lot of people are working remotely, and they're dialing into videos. Video conferencing or audio or whatever. So, I mean, the differences between 25 or 30 years ago and now, it's staggering. I mean, people are walking around with a device, the size of in some cases, a deck of cards, that's more powerful than gaming systems and computers combined. I mean, if you would have, I highly doubt anyone 25 years ago would have envisioned, one, that there would be anything like the internet. Two, just the compact size and nature of the devices that people have these days. It's staggering. If you look back, even at the 90s, I mean, yeah, the internet was coming out, but it wasn't half of what it was, what it is now. It more or less was text, with some pictures, and, you would dial in through your modem, and, I mean, nowadays, everything's broadband. So the dial tone thing isn't needed anymore. It's more of a dedicated bandwidth for data, and the advances in technology are staggering. I'm just going back 25 to 30 years, and the differences between in comparison from generation to generation, and the dependence on technology is staggering. And, with the inception of Facebook, LinkedIn, and all these social networking sites, people, they don't talk. People message each other, they text each other. There's like very few people these days that want to have a face-to-face conversation or a regular phone conversation. It's just, it's staggering to me. And, just that lack of, and you see it. If you talk to, some of the younger generations, you've noticed that the people skills, not in all of them, some of them still, some kids, there are some kids that are squeaking through this and being pretty standard, compared to our generations, but overall, there's literally no comparison. I mean, the styles and fashion and stuff, yes, because that's a revolving door. Bell bottoms, all the stuff that was cool, 25 years ago is cool now. Not sure why. I mean, I look back at some of the stuff that we wore in the 80s and 90s, and I pray that they never come back, but but like I'm saying, it's just with the inception of Facebook, MySpace, Instagram, stuff like that, it took the face-to-face interaction out of life for people. Some people, literally, kids and adults alike, don't interact with people face-to-face anymore. Everything is through text, email, any of those mediums. It's weird. It's just a strange thing, and I mean, it's scary at the same time because just that as kids, just that interaction with other kids and that time outside, that all those learning experiences and things to help you mature, just life experiences that these generations aren't getting. And if they are getting them, they're getting them through a cell phone and not, a real life, hands-on, right in front of you, physical, interaction or situation. And, it's scary. This is the generation that's one day going to be in the White House. I can't imagine, us having a president. He text messages, puts out an email instead of putting out a speech, or he does his speech from, over video or conference call or something. I mean, just, it's, I don't know. It just feels like there's some things over time that are just being lost. and that are pretty much falling by the wayside because of the inception of all the technological advancements. And it just and to be truthful, I gotta say, it's the media. It's the media. The media, they glamorize it. They glamorize the newest phone, the newest tablet, all these things. And, through the commercials and the reviews and all the stuff that's out there, they pretty much subliminally tell you iPad Air 3 with, 3D, blah, 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 or whatever. It's a bad example, but, or the new iPhone, how much better it is and how it is the phone to have, every time one comes out, anytime something new comes out, it gets glamorized and romanticized by the media. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm alone on this one, but it just seems to me like there's a lot that these kids today are missing out on in terms of life experiences that that I had, and that I'm sure you all had. Just those interactions, one-to-one, and in groups at school. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing, and what scares me is how these kids are gonna, when they get on their own in the real world, how are they gonna react when they've got to have face-to-face interaction on a daily basis with coworkers and managers, the boss or whatever. They can't go to their phone, and I think as technology advances and things like, Google Glass and, the next generation of, smartphone type devices, I just think it's only going to get worse. And there's going to be more integration, the augmented reality stuff, kind of like the Google Glass concept. It's a scary thought. It's a very scary thought, and I don't know, and that's where some people, they go into the conspiracy theory stuff. I'm not personally going to do that. It would probably be amusing, but like I said, I just feel like it's the media and, the commercial sectors of this country, with the advertisements and, the subliminal messaging in the commercials, and it's there. I mean, people can say it's not all they want, but it's there. You read between the lines in any commercial. They're trying to convince you that you have symptoms, for some new, medication, some new antidepressant. The news, every other day they're coming out with some new study that links, drinking milk with cancer to scare you so that you, I don't know, I just feel like there's an agenda behind, a lot of this. Again, not suggesting that it's anything sinister like the New World Order, but there's something and somebody that profits from this, these advances in technology and the money that's made off of each advance and the number of people that get addicted to the new technology. It's just my 2 cents, and like I said, I may be the only one on this particular subject, but it's just something I've been wanting to put this video out for a while. Just really haven't gotten around to it, and it's just scary, just plain old scary. That this is the future. Some of what we're seeing is the future, in terms of technology and in terms of, the youth. Those are your next doctors, those are your next lawyers, police officers, firemen, teachers, you name it, President of the United States, astronauts, who knows. But, I don't know. To me, it's just scary. It's a scary thought. It is. my hope is that as these kids get older, they realize that, you know, there are more important things than, you know, getting 300 likes on their, you know, picture on Instagram or whatever it is, you know, or, yeah, I don't know. You know, Twitter. I mean, Twitter's another one. And teenagers put their entire lives on Twitter. You know, it's crazy. I mean, it's totally insane. Put stuff out there, I mean, you guys wouldn't even want to hear. You know, I mean, just the stuff that I hear through my kids that these kids are putting out there. It's just, it's very scary, guys. It's really scary, and I think, you know, I do, you know, as a parent, you know, I do the best I can to try to keep my children on the right path in life, no matter what. So, you know, that these things don't turn into issues down the road. I mean, even by just limiting, you know, the amount of time spent doing whatever, Snapchat or whatever the heck it is that they're doing. You know, I feel like, you know, and having actual conversations with them, not texting them, not calling them on the phone, talking to them face to face, giving them attention, you know, showing them that, you know, what they have to say is important. And this isn't just for them, it's for everybody that I interact with. I try to do this because it's how I was taught. It's how I was raised. And, you know, I mean, our generation, that was just common courtesy, and that's what we did. So, I don't know. I mean, this rant really went on, but I really pray I'm not the only one seeing this. I really do. But, alright guys, I'm going to cut this off, but I appreciate everybody who, you know, clicks on these videos, checks out, you know, some of my crazy stuff, you know, vlogs, you know, just what I put out every day. I do this for you guys. Like I said, I'm not, you know, I'm no professional whatsoever, but I try to just put stuff out there that I hope you guys will, you know, latch on to and you know, have conversations about it. Even if it's just with one person, then it makes it worth it for me. But anyway, guys, like I said, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And I will definitely be talking to you guys very soon. In the meantime, guys, you take care. Peace.